the greatest thing is to be a real friend. Really be to this new person as you would want to be treated if it was you in that situation, and reach out and listen and ask about their culture and ask about where they came from, and help others around you that maybe you see some bullying, maybe you see some people who are not understanding and not showing respect, and you can really lead by example and embrace them and give them the kind of welcome that they deserve.
Do you think that the rational centre that you have called for, that rational discussion about how this crisis can be addressed, is it really possible to find a rational centre that can cope with the scale of migration as we have it at present, with the scale of this crisis?
I think it has to be. I mean, it has to be. There is no other way we're going to deal with this crisis. If we deal with it piecemeal, and if we deal with it irrationally, and if we deal with it just with this side wanting this and this person and everybody having their individual agendas, we will never really truly answer this, because this has been coming for 70 years. So now I think, yes, we have to, it is the only way forward, is for us to really look at this, really look at the letter of the law, really look at asylum procedures, really look at what is causing countries post-conflict not to stabilize, really looking at where countries are unable to have good economic futures because we haven't given them the support in the right way that we should have, and for a substantial amount of time. Fair trade, all of it. You can't look at one thing and not the other. We need to look at all of it, and we need to be very, very calm and centered, and not have our politicians fighting over whose idea it was and who gets to say this and what the people want to hear and how to get elected, but what needs to be done.
You talked about not basing policies on emotion, and part of what you're saying about a rational conversation. So the gesture that Angela Merkel made, was that based on emotion? Is that not the way to proceed if we are going to address all of this in a sensible long-term way?
I think it came from a beautiful emotional place. Yes, I think it maybe people would say at that time needed somebody to push forward and show that this is because there was so much negativity and there was so much closure that she wanted to show that there is an openness and in such a way. But I think it is important that in situations when people are coming into a country that it has to be done, that the best way for it to be done is to be done very carefully, so the people of the country are prepared, the people of the country understand, and that each person who crosses a border goes through a certain system, and those who do not qualify are safely returned. And I think it would grow more confidence of the country that is receiving, and it would grow for better relationships, less hate, if we can do it in that way. I'm not saying that wasn't done in that way. I don't actually know the registration procedures for each individual person in Germany. And I think it was a beautiful, beautiful thing and said something to the world. But I do think we need to have a real order, and we need to be explaining how things are being done in a clearer way.
And if this is you talked about this being a test of our values, and the way that we approach this will be something that defines our century. Is it a test that at the moment, as the international community, if we can use that term, is it a test we are failing?
Yes. Yes, I do. I think so.
But are you nevertheless, do you have hope that can be changed, or is that the way the world is?
I think you have to have hope. I think if you look in the history of man, we've been through darker times. This country has certainly faced very dark times and has risen from the ashes to build a stronger country with building the United Nations, building new ways, building a new future, strengthening our resolve. You know, so I think, yes, I believe this is a time we can come out of stronger and better, but I think it's going to take that kind of clarity, that kind of leadership, and but I mean it when I say it's not something that is an idea. It's something I believe we all know we must do, because we are at that moment and we are really at a breaking point.
And we are just about out of time. That is all we have time for on this special broadcast. Thank you to everyone who's been watching or listening, and thank you to Angelina Jolie Pitt. Thank you
very much.
Dealing with everything that we threw at you, and I think